Good morning, Love Tribe. It's Tracy with TR's Tarot Talk 1111. So guys, if you saw my community page, you saw that I wasn't able to go live last night for the moon ritual. Today is the full moon in Virgo. I think it's in Virgo, I'm pretty sure. And so because I wasn't able to go live, my son got hurt. And I had to take him to the emergency room last night. So it kind of threw a wrench in my plans. So today I want to do a very brief, because I've got a bunch of stuff to do. So I want to do a very brief check-in for the full moon and spring equinox. Now, God willing and the creek don't rise, I intend to go live either Sunday night or Monday night to do a combination spring equinox, full moon, candle ceremony so that we can do our manifestations and set our intentions, because in the channeled message that I did, Spirit said that we are being offered an opportunity to quantumly jump into a higher timeline. And so this is going to be a very quick pick-a-pile reading. And it's just guidance. I didn't use any tarot. We're using oracles only. And the question is, where should you be placing your focus and attention during this portal, this opportunity? And what can you expect? And I really don't know what Spirit's going to bring through, but I got some advice, and we've got some other stuff here. They're all oracles. I'm using the Shaman's Dream Oracle. It's a new deck that I've had for a while, but I haven't used a lot. And so I will be reading from the book, but we don't have a lot of cards here. I did draw a couple of romance angels just for those, who do have somebody on their heart and mind. This is not a love reading. This is a general reading. Okay, so take a moment. Choose your pile. Pile number 1 has the Petersite orb. Pile number 2 has the titanium quartz orb, and pile number 3 has the oh my god, I'm just having a brain fart. Okay, citrine. Thank you, Spirit. Sometimes I just have to shut up and listen. Okay, so pick your pile. And no, this is going to be brief, okay? Because we're really going to do a deeper dive either Sunday or Monday night. But because I wasn't able to do a live last night, I wanted to give you guys some guidance for this full moon and spring equinox, okay? So pick your piles. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to move this over here. I've got my computer open because I'm downloading another video for Patreon. Okay, pile 1 and pile 2 are over here, or I mean 2 and 3. Okay, so if you picked this beautiful pyrite, I love pyrite. Not even sure why, but I just absolutely adore the feeling of pyrite energetically. So we're going to start with the Shaman's Dream. So it is a number 84, which is a number 3, breaks down numerology into number 3. Sky Dancers, surrender. So, Spirit, what is your advice for pile number 1? What can they focus on or expect during this full moon? Liberation from attachment. Wow. Surrender. When a sky dancer appears, she is inviting you to welcome the deepest power of the feminine into your life. You have already overanalyzed your situation to exhaustion. Now is the time to invite the sacred feminine, the wisdom within your heart, no matter your gender, to guide you to success. If you have become earthbound, plotting and planning and praying for change, cease and desist. Break the habit of being yourself, of repeating the same behavior and hoping for a different outcome. Stop trying to figure it all out. Stop overthinking it. and surrender. The sky dancers are heralding the arrival of a new relationship with yourself, in your work or in your love life. Do not assume that this person or opportunity will rescue you. The only way to liberation is to kiss the ground goodbye and take flight, to rise above the fray and the drama of the struggling, arguing mind. Dance in the sky and view the madness below. By simply witnessing the actors and the human comedy unfolding on the ground, you are transforming it. As you observe the drama, you unleash the power of the sacred feminine that allows for resolution. The sky dancers know the maps of heaven and the way to the holiest and most sacred spaces on earth. They come to help you with your current life, and even more important, to guide you to the realization of your own divinity. Okay, so God, that almost feels like a personal message for me. So if there's any area of your life, whether it's your business, your personal, or your romantic life, where you have been completely stuck, and not able to move forward, simply because you have tried to micromanage or overthink or overprocess or look at everything over and over and over again, that is masculine energy. And a masculine energy without the feminine energy has no action. It can't move forward because the action comes from both feminine and masculine energy. And the feminine energy is the wisdom, right? It's kind of, the masculine and feminine is a very well depicted in the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot change, courage to change what I can, and wisdom to know the difference. That's masculine versus feminine energy. So if you have been stuck, and I have actually, so this is, like I said, this is good advice, trying to micromanage or overthink or overprocess, or you're just spinning your wheels in some area of your life because you're trying to figure it all out. You're trying to make things happen to your outcome, your perceived outcome. You know, I want things to happen this way, so let me, you know, try really hard to make things happen that way. And Spirit's saying it's time to invite the sacred feminine in, the feminine energy of perception, of intuition, of that inner guidance, the act of not chasing anything, but just simply allowing what is unfolding to unfold in divine ways. It's almost like you've already done everything you can do as far as the thinking goes. And so stop thinking and surrender to the process. And then your next step will naturally appear. And then you can use the masculine energy of taking that step, taking that action. But you won't know what that next action is as long as you're stuck in the mindset. Because our mind and our heart are masculine and feminine aspects, and they have to be in accordance, right? Vibrational alignment. So if you're wanting a relationship to change, and excuse me a moment, some of you guys are struggling with speaking your truth. Let me get a drink here. If you've been struggling in your finances or your any area of your life where there's struggle, you already know, right? The moment we started talking about this, it centered and hit its target. That's what readings do, is they don't tell you anything you don't already know. They kind of target where you're at and you recognize it. It resonates, right? So any area of your life where you have been really honestly just stuck, you need to surrender. Surrender the outcome. Surrender, just be an observer. And as you quit trying to make things happen and just allow things to happen, you'll see the opportunities, and then the action can be taken. And, you know, a lot of times your heart says, I want this, excuse me, I want this, I want this, I want this. But your brain says, I can't have it. It's not right. It's not the way I want it. It's not showing up. It's not doing this, that, or the other thing. And so there is no congruence between the two. So you are not in vibrational alignment. You are actually in static chaos energy. The good news is from chaos comes order. But that's the feminine aspect of surrender. So whatever you've been struggling with, it's time for you to just get your grubby little hands off of it and just start repeating every time you need to, whether it's once a day or 1 billion times a day. Grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot change, courage to change what I can, and wisdom to know the difference. And then watch for the signs. Ask for guidance and then watch for it, okay? And surrender to it. And for God's sake, if you need to speak up to somebody, please do so. But don't, you know, it feels like for somebody, maybe just one of you, you've been practicing a speech in your head over and over and over and over again, daydreaming about how you're going to tell that person where to go or what to do, or just having that conversation, but you never have it. You're just having it in your head. And so that's a blocked throat chakra, and I'm feeling it with this pile number 1. Okay, so next I want to take a look at we have denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. See, it's the same principle, right? Denial is this feeling of I can't, it's not right, it's not the right moment, or fear around, you know, it won't turn out the way I want it to if I do it this way or that way. It's all fear, okay? Replace that fear with trust. That's what you should be doing in this full moon time, is really kind of, you know, write out what you want. Be as detail-oriented as you need to be, but then let it go, you know, burn it, send it off to the universe, and allow for the seeds to actually germinate and take root, and allow spirit to guide you instead of you trying to guide spirit. And patience. Ooh, I accept that everything happens in divine order. So what happens when we get stuck? We hate it. And we really want something better. And so then we start trying to push and force things to happen. But nothing can happen if you're not in the surrender of allowing, right? Acceptance, surrender, acknowledge. And it really is simple, but it doesn't feel simple, because when we get stuck, we want to get unstuck, and we start problem solving, and we start, you know, planning and micromanaging, and spirit's like, we know what you want. We also know what you signed up for. And sometimes these things take time and surrender. So let's see what your advice is. We have spruce up your nest. Yeah, because that always, it's spring, right? Spring cleaning, spring equinox. Air out the old energy. Sage your home. Open windows and doors. You know, make your place, declutter it. Get rid of things you don't need and wash things. Just kind of spruce it up, right? It's time for a little spring cleaning. Your home is sacred and your surroundings matter. Honor where you recharge and fill it with beauty. Make space by giving away or donating what you don't need. Your clutter could be someone else's gold. Plus, when we have less to process physically, we have more room to process things emotionally. A clear head and a new room for great art awaits. Spruce up your fabulous nest. Spring clean. Okay, so if you have to be patient, if you have to get out of denial that patience is needed, if you surrender to the flow and timing of things, then this is something you can do in the meantime, right? Spruce up your nest gives you something to focus on other than what you've been focusing on. Give it some time. We have for your romance angels, past life relationship. You have known each other before. And we have children. Your love life is being affected by children. Now, I'm going to leave these open for interpretation because I'm pretty sure with a general reading, it's going to hit everybody differently. This could literally be your inner child. You know, you might have karma with somebody. This could be a twin flame or a sacred soulmate, somebody that you've known since you were a child. This could be somebody that, you know, has children, and maybe they're putting their focus and attention on their children at this time. And, you know, that's why there's patience that's needed. But it feels to me like inner child work, you know, healing trauma and karma from the past and the inner child. And if you're in this process, and maybe you've done a lot of this work, but your partner is just becoming aware and awakened, then the patience comes in because now it's time for them, and maybe you're ready. You know what happens when we prepare for a big event? We get all excited about it, and we prepare and we prepare and prepare and prepare. And then it's like, oh, well, I'm ready. You know, have you ever went to pick up a friend for an important event and they're running behind? And, you know, you show up and they're still in their jammies with curlers in their hair, putting their makeup on. You're like, really? We're supposed to be there. And they're like, we'll get there. We'll get there. You know, I want to show up right. I want to show up right. And so sometimes you got to exude some patience when other people need time to get their life or their purpose in order, their healing done. And if they're, you know, some people are in third-party situations, not everybody, but if you know you are, and your person's struggling right now because there's children involved, that could be another message here. But this is absolutely a very ancient contract. When you have a past life relationship that appears in another lifetime, it's because there's unfinished business. And patience is being asked of you, and surrender. And in the meantime, work on you, making you feel good. You know, buy you a new wardrobe if you can afford it. Or, you know, have a garage sale. Sell some old stuff to buy yourself a new wardrobe. Your trash is another person's gold. You know, declutter your home, spruce it up, get ready. What do we do when we're preparing for a union of any sort? We want to look our best. We want to feel our best. We want to put our best foot forward. We want our home to be in good order so we can be proud of anybody we invite into it. And so take a look at where you still have more that you can accomplish in your own arena, and stop trying to overstep boundaries in any situation. Not just romance, but in any situation where you're being asked by Spirit to let the magic happen. Now let's get you advice. Again, I had 2 advice cards. We have, dearest you, all your prayers are heard and mirrored back to you from the unseen realms. Be grateful. Praise things before they manifest. And always ask for the highest good. When you plead and beg, that will bring you only more reasons to plead and beg. Instead, offer your prayers as sacred gifts, as a testament to your faith in a higher power. Open up and let Spirit move through you and comfort you. Add meditation as a way to become empty, so you will be ready to be filled with inspired epiphanies, peace, understanding, and joy. In this moment, your prayers are being answered for the highest good of both you and all life. Sometimes what you pray for is not supposed to happen for you, and your prayers will be answered in surprising ways. At this moment, we are listening intently to your prayers and want you to know that your highest good is our highest priority. All is well. So that's that surrender, trusting the process, right? Maybe what you're asking for isn't meant for you. Or maybe it is meant for you, but it needs time because you have patience there. So either or, you'll never, ever be able to force the universe to give you what you want until the time is right. So divine timing is important, it appears, for whatever you're trying to manifest. So set your intentions, make them very, very known, and then release them. You know, that's why we burn our intentions and release it under the moon, is in order to, you know, release it, to give it to God, give it to source, give it to the universe, whatever your title that you use for source energy, give it back, because that's when the true magic happens. All right, so I'm going to take a look at the timestamp, try not to bump the table, and we have 2040. 2040. All right, we're going to move on to pile number 2. If you pick this beautiful titanium orb, this was given to me by my friend, then this is your reading. Let's take a look first at your Shaman Dream Oracle by Alberto Villoldo and Colette Baron Reed. I'll show you the book. It's a number 28, breaks down to a 10, which also breaks down to a 1 in numerology. So there is an opportunity here. It says hollow bone, teachability. So be open, empty yourself, kind of like we just read in the other postcard. If you were there, you probably weren't, but in pile 1, the postcard said to hollow yourself, empty yourself so that you can be filled. That's letting go of things, right? So you have to clear out some stuff to hollow out in order to receive something new, something different. It says teachability. And so it feels like there is a cycle for you in this full moon and spring equinox where you have an opportunity to close out a teaching lesson so that you can move on to the next level, right? Take that timeline jump, raise your vibration. There seems to be a lesson that you've completed, and now it's time for a new one, is what it feels like to me, but I haven't looked yet. So let's just take a gander. Hollow bone, teachability, humility, being empty so that the wind of spirit can breathe through you. The hollow wing bone of an eagle is a flute for the shamans. The appearance of the hollow bone invites you to become empty of your notions of who you are, to check your ego at the door and to know that this is not about you. Relinquish your need to be right and to express an opinion, as this will not change anything right now. You're being called to practice humility. Allow yourself out and hear the wind blow through you and play you like a flute. You will learn the language of the squall and the storm and understand the message in the summer breeze. There is an important communication waiting for you. Humility is the swiftest path for you to become like hollow bone. Drop all notions and titles that bolster your ego. Eliminate the doer and allow things to happen of their own accord. Remember that you can accomplish most anything if you're willing to let someone else take credit for it. Hollow bone has come to caution you to believe only 50% of what others think and only 10% of what you think. Trust your experience, not what you have read in sacred books or holy texts. This will allow you to turn apparent danger into opportunity. Remember that you are an insignificant grain of sand in the grand scheme of life, and also as important as the brightest sun. That's all about partnership with spirit, right? It's not, so I'm I don't like to call out people like this, but this is what spirit's showing me is there are teachers. And they're showing me one in particular, but I don't want to get a strike on my channel. But there are these big, very famous gurus that have a platform. And on that platform, they have grown so large, okay, that they start believing that they are a savior, that they are are able to fix everybody and solve everybody's problems, and they've got all the answers, and they teach maybe from old traditions. And so this feels to me like Spirit saying the old traditions are dying. Okay, there's going to be old traditions that return that were gone, and now they're returning. But there are also old traditions that no longer serve, that are no longer applicable, and they are being destroyed. It's a tower moment, right? Anything that no longer serves comes to the ground, and then we rebuild. And so it feels to me like you've got a message to give. But that message needs to come from Spirit, not from the ego. And so if you find that you've got a platform, if you're a teacher, or if you're, a reader or a spiritual person, or even just maybe not spiritual, maybe you are in the old traditions, like maybe you're a head honcho at a hospital, or whatever. Like it could be, you could be a business owner, you could be a relationship coach, or any kind of life coach. You could be, what it feels like is that you're teaching some of the old stuff through your ego. It's like you kind of think you've got it all figured out. And Spirit's telling you that a lot of the old paradigms don't serve anymore. And so they are coming to a screeching halt. It is a time of death and rebirth, 10, which comes to a 1. And so, whatever you think you know, you should humble yourself before Spirit and allow Spirit to move through you, because there's a lot more you're about to learn. And I do believe you will be responsible for what you learn to teach to others. You feel to me like your energy has a purpose and a mission. And some of the old paradigm that you've learned over the years in your practice or in your belief systems are now shifting and changing. And Spirit wants to bring the new to you, the new message, the new lesson, the new message. I keep hearing message. So make sure that you're teachable. Make sure that you don't believe that you've got it all figured out, that you know it all, and your way is the only way, because, there's sacred texts, there's books. I've done all the research. I've done all of the, yes. And in that time frame, that was pertinent and relevant. But a lot of that stuff is coming down in order to create the new. And it is time for evolution. We are evolving as a human species. We are jumping a timeline in the spring equinox. We're getting an opportunity to raise our frequency and to become retaught. Make sure you're teachable. Make sure that you're not so stuck on what you think you know that you're not open to receive what is coming, because it feels important. Okay, so I hope you get that message. I don't want to hammer it too much because I'm in a hurry. But it does feel to me like Spirit's saying, please take what you know and just set it aside for now. Hollow yourself out so that we can breathe through you. You might even be a channeler. And, channelers, it's hard to be an empty vessel. It's hard to be the medium if you have preconceived notions, or if you have a very set standard of belief system and you're closed-minded, because you feel like, well, I've done all that. I've learned all that. I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt and beer koozie. Spirit's saying, yes, but this is not that. We are not there. This is new. All right. And so we are moving into a new timeline where this and that can be true. And you're supposed to be open to be teachable, because I feel like you have a very important role to teach others. But you can't teach from the old textbooks, is what it feels like. So let's get you these ones. Health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So, I don't know how that's going to land for you. Maybe, maybe you are in the health industry. Maybe you're a doctor or a nurse or a specialist, you know. Big pharma is changing, and a lot of the things that they taught people in the health industry are changing. We're going to a more holistic timeline where mind, body, and spirit, energy work, sound therapy. There's going to be a lot of technology that the younger kids are going to bring in, like Tesla, right? And there's patents on things that have been squelched, that have been hidden, that will be coming through. Now, if you're not in the healthcare, you know, this could be anyway. This could be mental health, this physical, spiritual. It's, you know, Spirit's way of saying that there's something to do with your mind, body, and spirit that needs to be honored at this time, and to be open to new ideas on what that looks like. Loneliness. I know that I am never alone. Wow. That one hits hard. When my mom passed away, she brought a lot of messages to me through stickers and bumper stickers, and it always said, "You are not alone." So, you know, where are you feeling lonely? Where are you feeling like, because what happens when things change is, if we're not willing to change with them, then people start moving on to the higher timelines, and then you feel like you got left behind. And Spirit's like, no, you're not left behind. The invitation, everybody gets the invitation, but not everybody accepts. And so there's something here, you know, that you need to ask, and you will receive, but you have to change your mindset and open your mind, open your heart. For some of you with health, it could be a heart thing. You know, maybe you feel lonely and unloved. Maybe it's an abandonment wound. Maybe you've convinced yourself that, you know, things will never change. You're always going to be alone. I'm always going to... And I know people like this, whose health is horrible. Like, they manifest all kinds of diseases in their body because they're lonely, and they've got a closed mind and a closed heart. They think they're never going to change. That, you know, no one's ever going to choose me. Nobody's ever going to love me. Everybody abandons me. I've never truly felt loved. Well, sometimes you're extremely loved, but if your heart is closed to it, you could be in a room full of people hugging you and you don't feel the love. It's there, but it's not yours to experience because you're not open to receive it. So there is something here that Spirit's trying to teach you around your worthiness, around loving yourself, around, you know, opening your heart to receive, being able to be taught that, you know, that's an old belief system that has not served you thus far. And so maybe it's time to allow a new mindset, a new belief system, a new, you know, just open your mind and say, well, maybe it's true. Maybe it could be. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I will. Maybe just, you know, be open to the possibilities, because that's going to give Spirit an opportunity to teach you something that will change and shift this in your life, so that you can have love, so that you can have good health, so that you can maybe even take what you learn out into the world to help others who are struggling in the same areas that you struggled in. So let's get you some advice. We have listen. See, because I feel like you don't. I'm not trying to call you out, but I do feel like you're a little bit stubborn. You have a set mind and a set heart. And Spirit's wanting you to be teachable, to open up and to just listen. Listen to others. Listen to your own needs. Your own soul will speak to you. Listen to Spirit. Are you talking more than you're listening? Do you finish people's sentences for them? Shh. True connection is about how we make people feel, and whether or not we're being open. See, I felt that. Whether we're being open and present. Life is communicating with you, dear one. An important message. See, damn. An important message is trying to get through. Let go of your fear of not being heard. You'll get your chance. For now, just listen and be teachable. Wow. That like really summed it up, man. So now we're going to take a look at romance angels, just in case you've got somebody on your heart and mind. If you don't, disregard them. It's a collective reading. We have chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Keep an open mind. Look at how many times, we've got 6 cards. How many times in 6 cards can Spirit tell you you need to be open? Teachable. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. That could be so many things. That could mean that the person that you have chemistry with is healing, changing. Their health is getting better, right? They might show up differently if you give them an opportunity, or if you open your mind and heart to see things differently. Or it could also mean that the person you think is your person may not be your person. And if you're teachable and allow yourself to heal your heart, then, and when you're no longer lonely, when you can love yourself and not be lonely in your own presence, then you will, chemistry is magnetic attraction. Then you will magnetically attract a different kind of person. Maybe you've been stuck in a cycle of attracting narcissists or people that ghost you or abandon you or whatever. We all do it because nothing exists but us. We are the creator having an experience. And so we create experience. And everybody out there is just a mirror of what's going on inside of you. And so if you don't love yourself, nobody else can love you because it's impossible. You create them. And so they're going to show up like you. And so if you open your mind, open your heart, this loneliness will go away because you can actually attract the kind of person that you become. But you can't attract anything better than what you believe you can have. And so if you change your mind, be open your mind and allow yourself to believe that things can change, that people will change when you change. A lot of self-love is needed here. I'm just going to throw that out there. So your advice from Spirit, it's a postcard from Spirit, Colette Baron Reed. Dearest wonderful you, to help you manifest a life for the highest good, we invite you to examine your deepest desires. Imagine all your dreams, no matter what kind, like magic seed pods in a basket, glowing with infinite potential. Look closely at each one. Are you afraid that some may bring you too much attention and invite negative reactions from others? Is change too daunting? Are you afraid to stretch and grow? Let yourself be led forward and let the seeds of positive intention take to the wind. Your desires count and you are worthy of them. They are essential for co-creating your world. Did you ever consider that when a desire comes from deep within you, it might be Spirit moving you to create something beautiful to share with others? Some desires are infused with miraculous powers to move the heart and influence the world in ways you can't possibly know. We know you and love you so deeply and are so happy to support you. So what you need to do if you want to create change in your life is you have to be open to change. That means you can't be afraid of change. You can't do the same thing, believe the same thing, think the same thoughts, teach the same stuff over and over and over again, because that doesn't create change. That creates sameness. Okay? And so it feels to me like there's a well inside of you, a void. And that void can only be filled with spirit and love. And that you need to do. That's your responsibility. It's not anybody else's responsibility out there to cultivate that within you, but you. And so Spirit is wanting you to hollow out all of your negative thoughts and beliefs around what you're worthy of or what your lessons are, in order to become filled again with something new. Change is wanting to happen for you, but you have to be open to receive. Okay? And it starts with self-love. Be teachable. You know, people who finish other people's sentences, it is because they're a know-it-all, right? They think I know exactly what you're going to say. I know exactly what you're going to do. Everybody always does that, right? I've got it all figured out. Well, Spirit's here to tell you that you don't. And the sooner you open yourself up to learning something new and creating something new, change within your own paradigm, that's when Spirit can fill you with the new lesson. And it does appear that you have, whatever you're learning here, you're going to have a platform in which to teach it to others. Okay? Because it says right here, did you ever consider that when a desire comes from deep within you, it might be Spirit moving you to create something beautiful to share with others? Some desires are infused with miraculous powers to move the heart and influence the world in ways you can't possibly know. Okay? So I love you guys. If you'd like a personal private reading, hit me up, because it sounds to me like you need to listen instead of talk. And I will channel for you. Okay? All right, moving on now. I got to look at the timestamp. You're way up here in the air. We are at 41:51. I'll put 41:56, just in case. All right, welcome, pile number 3. If you picked the citrine, which is so obvious, and yet I couldn't think of it, this is your advice for the new moon, or I'm sorry, full moon, and also for the spring equinox, opportunity to up-level vibrationally. So we're going to start with the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Ooh, look at that. Crown Games. It's a number 8. Right use of power. So it seems to me like you've been crowned with some kind of an authority that you will be able to take into the world and help others with. But it's going to require that you are operating from a place of integrity, right? With great power comes great responsibility. It's a number 8. 8's all about infinity. It's about luck. It's about spirit. It's about, cycles. Divine number. What comes around goes around. I don't know who that was for, but I just heard it very loudly in my head. What goes around comes around. Make sure you're using your power and authority in a very integral way for the highest and good of everyone. All right. Crown Games. Leadership. There you go. Leadership. Responsibility, accountability. Right use of power. There is a game of power played by all people, whether they're conscious of it or not. It concerns who has it and who doesn't. How to get more of it and not to lose that which you have. How to wield it wisely and not to get drunk with it and cause harm. These are the matters you need to ponder now, that you will find yourself in the crown game too. You want to be on top, the best, the most effective, and the most beloved. You may consider that your deep desire to help others is disguising the underpinnings of this complex game. Power and all it entails can be both dangerous and productive. Destructive, I think I bumped the camera, sorry guys. Destructive and redemptive. Which will it be for you? Can you forgive without condoning and keep your dignity when challenged? Will you be accountable, amenable to change or making amends? Can you let go of your need to rescue others? Can you lead with humility while letting others discover their way home? Now you're learning that empowerment comes with a price and a sacrifice for sovereignty. This is a time to pick your battles, use strategy, and temper your reactions. You have the power to make a beautiful difference on behalf of others. Can you see power as a currency that you must spend judiciously? True power is stewarded wisely, for it is given from the divine, not from the ego. In all your relations, the greatest beauty is when power is shared. If you are in a higher position, it's even more important to be kind and respectful. Ask for guidance. It will come when you choose compassion over your own goals and desires. When you stop caring about who wears the crown, true success and influence appear for you. So I love this deck. It seems to call us all out on our bullshit, right? And so Spirit's saying, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. How will you wear the crown if we bestow it upon you? And can you be compassionate and still lead? You know, we can be leaders without, you know, forcing people to follow. Can you be a teacher and still allow people to find their own way? And so I don't know how that is pertinent to you, but it seems that Spirit is asking you to take the power that they're giving you or have given you and use it very, very wisely in a very integral way. Don't be anybody's savior, but be somebody's teacher. You know, allow them, you're just a seed planter. With great leadership, a great leader plants seeds in the minds of those that are listening. And they allow people to present themselves. You know, in any movie or situation where you see, you know, like a plane goes down and there's a whole group of people, you really don't know who the leaders are from the weak until they present themselves. You know, cream rises to the top. And so it seems like there is a seed within you that has great potential to be a leader. But those leaders, you know, they don't become dictators. They actually allow people in a group to find their own place. You know, one can be the scribe, one can be the healer, one can be the ingenious or ingenuity, right? The MacGyver of the clan. Everybody has their own unique gifts and talents, and the true leader will discover those by allowing those people to actually discover them themselves, right? And then the leader will take those and put them in the place they need to be. If you have somebody who's like a great healer, you're not going to make them the news person, right? You're not going to sit them down with pen and paper and say, well, I want you to I want you to take down notes of everything that's happening. Because then when somebody gets sick and needs a healer, your healer is like already doing something different because you dictated to them what they should be doing instead of allowing them to show their true potential and then utilizing their gifts and talents, okay? I don't know why I went there, so somebody needs to hear that. All right, your next card is acceptance. I am learning to accept the things I cannot change. Again, be very careful that you don't become drunk with power. Power is something that should be used very in integral ways, okay? Accepting that there are certain things that aren't yours to dictate, and other things that you are meant to be the leader in. Feels to me like there's something that there's some kind of knowledge or gift or talent that you've been bestowed with that, you know, maybe you are trying to use it to influence people to your way of thinking instead of allowing people to discover their own path, okay? We have purpose. I know what I'm here to do. See, you guys are leaders. You absolutely, look at all the purples. Crown chakra, right? Crown. chakra. You have a great purpose, but in that purpose, you also have responsibility to accept, create change where you can, and accept where change needs to not be forced or pushed. And we have ask for help. A great leader is always, always open to help, especially from the divine, right? This girl's got her hand on the angel's wing. If there's some place where you're stuck, where you're trying to force things to happen because you feel like you have a life purpose, but it's not, you know, like you're not really co-creating with source. You're kind of in this mindset of, well, I already know what my purpose is. I know what I'm here to do, and I'm going to make it happen one way or the other. Maybe that's not exactly the way Spirit wants you to do it. And if you're stuck, just ask for help. The divine is here on this journey with you, right? You're co-creating with the divine. So are you constantly giving to others, yet rarely receiving what you need? Then it's time to ask for help. You're not Superwoman or Superman. So there's no need to do it all yourself. You have an army of angels on speed dial. Give them a call. Communicate your needs and learn to receive, dear one. When we're open to the help that's all around us, the universe provides assistance. Make sure to look for the signs. Once you've asked for help, they will start appearing. So it seems to me like you feel like you have a mission, a purpose, something very important that you feel driven to accomplish. And yet there's some place here that you're kind of missing the information. You're missing the direction, the guidance. And so Spirit's saying, you know, you have to not just rule with force or lead with force. You also have to kind of be open to receive and let Spirit guide you on this. You're not in this alone. You have legions of help that is here to provide assistance. So open up and ask for help, and you will start getting the answers you need. Watch for signs and synchronicities, right? So if you have anybody on your heart and mind, these are for this. And if you don't, then just leave them for someone else. These are the romance angel cards. We have finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. If you don't have a love life, then this is also part of your calling, right? Finances and career. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're a boss or in some kind of leadership place, you know, don't be afraid to ask for help and accept. Sometimes things, you know, take time, or sometimes that change isn't meant to happen now or maybe ever. And the only way you're ever truly going to know is to tap into that inner source of co-creation. And if this is about somebody in your love life, then, you know, finances is a direct mirror. Anything out there is a direct mirror of our internal awareness. And so self-worth, right? Sometimes we become boastful and proud and we think we're all that in a bag of chips. And then we get humbled in relationships. And then other times we don't think we're good enough and we're not worthy. And then it shows up financially. It's like, oh, so you don't make much. You know, the universe will always pay you what you believe you are worth. Okay? As long as you take what you receive and use it with integrity. Otherwise, it becomes, you know, you'll still get it. Look at how many people get really rich and it ruins their lives. It destroys their lives because they don't use what they ask for the betterment of all. They use it just for self. So, you know, our relationships, friendships, family dynamics, work relatives, you know, people we work with, co-workers, bosses, and our love life is always a direct mirror of what's going on inside of us. Okay? So either you're too amped up and full of yourself, or you don't see your worth. There's an imbalance here. And acceptance is receiving what you need. Ask for what you need. Be open to receive it and accept it. Be open to accept it. Attraction. See? You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. This is all about vibration and frequency. It's about finding balance and knowing your true worth, right? If you're struggling financially, even though you know that you have a calling, then, perhaps it's because you're not believing in yourself. You're not open to receive the gifts, the abundance that Spirit's trying to bring you. And if you're at the opposite end of that, if you're receiving all kinds of money in abundance, but you don't feel, but you misuse it, right? You become drunk on it. Then what you're attracting, because we're vibrational beings, what you're attracting is going to be a direct mirror of whatever you're experiencing internally. Okay? So be in high vibration, be in integrity, ask for help, be open to accept it, and know that your purpose is already part of the blueprint of your soul. The moment you tap into that, which is your heart and your purpose, you will know. You will attract money, you will attract love, you will attract guidance. Everything you need is always there. But with great power comes great responsibility. So take what you can take from that. I'm going to get you your advice from Spirit. Dearest you, selfless giving is an elixir so sweet and life-giving and amazing that it should be customary for everyday living. Right now, generosity is being asked of you. Let go of a debt, release an obligation, or do a solid kindness to someone for no other reason than as an exercise of the heart. You will be surprised how quickly a generous heart is repaid. We know it often doesn't happen in the immediate exchange. So temper your expectations. Know that life has an uncanny way of sending miracles seemingly unrelated to your kindness, yet interconnected in magical ways. The more you act from generosity, the bigger your heart grows, and the more love and abundance, love and abundance, I lost my place, you will experience. We also know that someone could be entering your life with a generous offer for you. Take it and trust you are worthy and deserving of it. You have to receive, not just give. We love you so much over here. So there's that balance, right? You need to give in order to receive, and you need to receive in order to be given. Okay? When people give, accept. When people need given, give. It's how we're going to create the new paradigm. So it does look like you have a purpose and you are attracting abundance, but you have to be open to it receiving. You have to be willing to co-create with the universe. You have to use the power and money or whatever it is you're manifesting for the greatest good of everyone with a generous heart and spirit. Okay? And you also have to know your value and worth so that when it comes, you can accept it with gratitude and use it for your purpose. Use it for helping others, because it looks like you could possibly be here on this planet at this time with a leadership role. But, it's like the meek shall inherit the earth. Maybe you are, in your mind, a nobody. Who am I? Who am I to be bestowed this power or this authority or this lesson or this platform? And so, where are you in this dynamic? Are you too boastful and proud, or are you too hollow and empty? Whatever is there, Spirit's saying you have everything you need to attract financial abundance and leadership, as long as you use it with the purpose that it was intended when it was given. Okay? I love you guys. This is the end of the reading. I have to go get ready. I've got an appointment. And I do love you. If you would like a personal private reading, please reach out. Everything you need is in the description box below. And we are doing great things over in Patreon. If you're interested in that, there's a link for that. If you'd like to send a tip or a deck of any sort, there's links for that. And there's always a free reading that I give with any decks that are donated. So some people, you know, can't afford a $100 reading, but they can afford a $25 deck. And so you get a reading with that deck. And I'm very generous with my time. Okay, so I love you guys, and I will catch you on the next upload. Namaste.